Good evening. What happens when you die? Well, I actually know something about this. I know what happened to me. I don't know what's going to happen to anybody else, really. But I know what happened to me, you see, because I remember my deaths and I have compared them. Right? And this thing was my conclusion, my observation. I'm certain about this thing. The death depends on your condition at the time. I mean, if you're in a good condition when you die, this sort of thing will happen when you die. And if you're in a bad shape, something else will happen. Very different. And I will tell you about two of these deaths and compare them, right? So it's a good idea to be in a good shape before you die. And of course, you know, there's lots of things you can do to get yourself in a good shape, right? It's recommended. Live an ethical life, for instance. I think this is very, very important. You know, be honest as much as possible. Honesty is a key thing. And integrity, right? These are things that you can look at to improve your condition. Don't let people walk over you, for instance. Stand up for yourself. That's a good idea, right? Things like this. Now, if you're in a good shape or not, well, that's very easy to find out, actually. You know, you just need to ask yourself one question, according to me. You ask yourself this: can I change my mind? And if the answer is yes, you're in a pretty good shape. Maybe excellent shape, you see. Because people who are in a very poor condition, they can't. It's very hard for them. They get some new information, it doesn't matter. They will not change their minds, you know, because they will never admit that they were wrong. And I think most of you, maybe all of you, you will say, yeah, if I get new information, I will say, okay, I was probably wrong about this thing, right? No problems, right? Not a big deal. You get new information and you look at it and you say, yeah, well, I changed my mind now. This is a very good condition, if you ask me. All right, so I'll tell you about these two deaths, all right? So the first one, I was in a bad condition, and this was in the 1600s in France. And I'm sure I did a video about this, so I'll just tell you briefly what happened. The life started off very nicely, I think, and then I fell in love. And I got married to this fantastic lady, and we got a son, we got a kid. And then my wife died, and it just hit me very, very hard. Something happened to me, and I left our kid, see, 5-year-old son. I just left him, and I basically became a bum. It's true. It was really bad. And then when I died, I was aware that I died. I knew that I died, right? But this is what happened. I stayed, see, with the body. And I was devastated. I was sad. I was angry. I didn't do anything for a long, long time. You see? And when I look back at this, I realized that I was at that time, I was in trouble, really. Now something good happened, fortunately, right? A good friend contacted me, another spirit, right? And I was stuck there, you see. Really bad. But this friend, I'm very grateful to this friend because he contacted me and talked to me. Despite the fact that I lived a terrible life, I don't think he was happy with this, but I don't think he cared. So he talked to me, and we talked, right? And he got me out of it. But that was very bad situation for me at that point. And it went on for, I don't know, months, I think. See? And I couldn't do anything. I was like paralyzed. See? So this is what happened after this very bad life, when I made very poor decisions, right? And I didn't take responsibility. I was not ethical, not the least. So that's what happened. And then the other lifetime I want to tell you about is when I died, and this was in England, and I was just 18 years old. And I died in the war. This was 1944, right? And I died in France. And that was very different. And I looked at this later, now, and I looked at it and I said, well, maybe this was good, you see? Because I hadn't lived for very long. Of course, I was pissed off about what happened there in France, right? But I haven't lived in society for very long. I was still sort of fresh as a spirit with a new life, you see? And then I died, and I was in a good condition at the time. And this was very different. I immediately said goodbye to the body, right? And I moved to find another one, and I was so aware doing it, And that's when I came here to Sweden. And eventually I found this one, this body, right? And this lifetime has been maybe the best I have experienced ever, maybe. It's been very, very good. So it's different. So be in a good condition all through your life, of course. Maybe especially during the last years, right? I think maybe this is why some old people wants to clean up, right, before they go. People come into their, they are lying there on the bed, ready to die, and these old people, dying people, they will want to tell you things, right? Confess things, right? Apologize or something. You see? Because they know what's coming. And they want to sort it out, at the very end, maybe. Right. So if you're visiting a person who is dying, I think you can help them just by listening and understanding what they want to say, right? Right. That's all. Be good.